Welcome to Strangest Strangers, a D&D actual play podcast. I am your DM, Carson Big C Burger. Now please, sit back, get comfortable, and prepare for the latest chapter of a grand and epic tale. When last we all met, the party had just survived a rather harrowing combat encounter inside the Forest of Bones, with a small raiding party of cannibals, gnomes, and a single witherling. Some pieces of you all were eaten, some by the gnolls, some by the cannibals, but you all managed to more or less survive, if not intact, then well alive. There was not much else incident-wise as you traversed the rest of the forest until you reached the strange forest mountain town of Last Bastion, where you had several close encounters with the gnolls that apparently infest the pathway of the town every night. Though you were almost overwhelmed by the sheer tide of the hungry beasts, you were saved by a surly bartender who also apparently is an openly practicing cleric of the archdevils of the fourth hell. So, after spending a restless night in one of his two very overpriced rooms, you awoke to an outdoor commotion, and you've seen that a strange sight is taking place. Several beaten prisoners who have seen many of whom seem to have been beaten within an inch of their lives are being paraded through the town by who seems to be the Lord of Last Bastion, his right-hand man, and several guards, as well as several draconic-looking hound-like creatures. And the right-hand man, or woman in this case, has declared that the prisoners are rebels, guilty of trying to rebel against the rightful ruler of Last Bastion, and now their punishment shall be shown for all of Last Bastion to see, as a warning to any who would try to foment rebellion in the future. And that is where we begin.
Do I have any inkling as to whether or not I could get these people to safety if they were to choose exile?
From what you have seen, there doesn't seem to be much of a difference between dying now or dying in the Forest of Bones.
So we couldn't get them to the village that we came from, Betty's village, right?
That is at least at least a good several days journey from where you are at the very least.
Yeah. Okay. And how many of them are there? The people that were declared rebels?
There are about 8 of them. 4 of them seem to be full-grown adults, men and women, while the other 4 seem to be little more than teenagers, children, or at the very least, children on the cusp of teenagehood and adulthood. But all of whom seem to have been not treated very kindly during their quote unquote interrogation, and many of whom seem to be barely conscious.
Okay. Well, then I guess I say to the conscious ones, if you choose exile, I will do everything in my power to get you to the next village over. I'm sure they would welcome you.
The right hand woman, her head looks up at your voice, turns, and she looks at you with narrowed eyes. Are you interceding in this judgment, interloper?
Um, no, because I'm not saying it for them. I am just letting them know all of their options. That's all. You want them to you're giving them options, so shouldn't they at least know what the options entail?
They were aware of
Yeah.
the options when they chose to rebel. Yet rebel they still did. This is the punishment.
You're exiling them from this settlement. What's to stop us or anybody else from helping them get to the next one?
There are no other settlements for miles around. What are you referring to?
A few days from here, we can get them to the next city. They're out of
There's
your
nothing-
hair.
There is nothing around but forests and the mists.
We've already come through the forest once.
Yes. We came through the forest. We definitely know there are other things outside of that forest. We just came from there.
The Lord upon his horse looks at you for a minute with steely eyes, but says nothing. And then he nods to his right-hand woman. The woman nods back and then goes over, bends her head towards one of the adult rebels. You can't really tell if the quote-unquote rebel says anything. The woman nods, puts a hand upon her sword. In a movement so swift, like flowing water, the rebel's head is separated from her neck, and the body collapses to the ground with a small geyser of blood. The woman then walks over to the next rebel, a sort of a stout and balding man, both whose eyes are swollen shut from what appears to be repeated blows. Bends over, listens,
Say,
nods.
wait. If what they're saying is true, let them say it out loud so everyone knows the choice they made.
The choices should be obvious by the result.
No, what you do, what they say does not necessarily mean that is what. No,
How
what
are
you
we to
do.
trust you?
Yes, that. What I mean is there is no reason for us to believe that just because you carried out this sentence that is what they said.
The woman narrows her eyes again and just walks over towards you. The townsfolk hurriedly getting out of her way, and she stops about a foot from you. You can tell that she is at least two or three heads taller than you are. And sort of looks down at you. Are you saying I am being dishonorable Hellspawn?
I'm saying that it would be fair to everyone to have everything out in the open so that no rumors spread. You know how rumors can be. Sometimes, if a thing is repeated enough, it becomes true. You wouldn't want that, would you?
The woman narrows her eyes even further. You can tell she's becoming a little incensed, and a slight scent of burning embers starts filling the air. Meanwhile, the man upon the horse is just watching dispassionately, and then he shakes his head and goes, "Dayu, I grow tired of this. Finish carrying out the sentence, and then we shall depart. I'm growing bored." Then all of a sudden, from somewhere upon one of the buildings, you hear a sort of harried shout, say, "Death to tyrants! Death to the Lord of Last Bastion! He who has damned us all!" Then you hear a slight twang, and a crossbow bolt goes flying through the air and hits the man on the horse right between the eyes. Body sort of slumps over in the saddle for a moment, then slumps over the saddle. He is dead. A moment later, the body then jerks, and slowly, as if not really in much of a rush, the Lord, despite an arrow having gone straight through his head, comes back up, almost in a board-like way, yanks it out of his head, looks at it, crushes it. Everyone in town sort of gasps in horror. Then he just looks off into where the arrow came from, raises a hand, slowly starts closing into a fist, and as he does so, you hear, as it closes, the sound of pained screams and the sound of bones being slowly compressed. And then when he makes a full fist, you hear a loud crunch, and the scream juts off abruptly. He looks
Can
back
we see who he's attacking?
Once he finishes the fist, he then makes another gesture, and you see a mangled body being sort of pushed through the air by what appears to be floating cobblestones from the street. The mangled corpse is dropped with wet splat onto the ground. Everyone looks in horror. And then he looks back to his right-hand woman, who's looking at it without emotion, just sort of like a still wall, and goes, "As I said, I'm growing tired. Finish this and let's be on our way." The woman nods and starts drawing her sword and heads back to the rest of the prisoners.
Yeah. I yell out, Lord of Last Bastion, after this is concluded, we have a message to give to you. By
He
the way.
pointedly ignores you.
Well, that's rude. He's rude. I don't like rude people.
Callie just
Yeah.
shouts out, Prince Prospero sends his regards.
The Lord of Last Bastion seems not to recognize the name. Indeed, no one recognizes the name. Meanwhile, the right-hand woman has cut off the head of two more of the adult prisoners. The last one has fallen to their knees, bends down, listens, nods solemnly. A fourth geyser of blood. Now only the 4 children are left.
Okay. Well, all right. Then I guess these. I'll say to her, these are just children. What crimes could they have committed? They're so terrible that they have to forfeit their life. They still have many years to learn.
If you not cut rebellion off at the root, it will simply grow, no matter how many times it's pruned.
At least spare them. Maybe we can try to get them to the next city, and they'll no longer be your problem.
The woman looks at the Lord, who still looks bored, but he gives her a slight nod, and then the woman looks down at her bloodstained sword, which is gleaming in the dull light of the morning, and goes, "Perhaps mercy could be arranged." She gestures to several of the soldiers, and the soldiers grab each of the children by their hands and forcibly hold up the hands like these in a straight line. The woman raises her sword. It is with these hands they try to foment rebellion. Thus they shall hold no more. 4 pairs of hands fall to the ground. 4 pain screams echo throughout Last Bastion, with the children go clutching their bloody stumps to their chests. The Lord looks, dispassionately pleased by the result, and goes, "Let's return. I have grown bored." "Yes, my lord," says the woman, who then briefly looks at you with a real odd expression on her face, both anger, a bit of sorrow, and mixed with dispassion and blankness. She mounts back on her steed, and the entire party, along with the draconic beasts, one of whom managed to lap up one of the severed hands, and now just chomping on it like a hound would a given treat. All return back up. All the townsfolk just watch the Lord and his guards and his right-hand woman depart for a long moment.
As they're leaving, I say, also Prince Prospero wanted you to come to this masque, this soiree. I don't know. Message delivered. And
the Lord does not seem to recognize the name Prince Prospero, nor does he seem to care that someone just spoke to him. He makes no motion that he even acknowledge what you said.
he's a dick. Why is everybody in this town a dick?
And so now the crowd is beginning to slowly disperse. Some are tentatively moving towards the sobbing children, who have now been disarmed, literally.
But
Jesus. Shall we?
I suppose so.
I'm gonna walk up and try and cast Cure Wounds while holding their hands to their stumps.
All right.
At least
roll.
for one of them first.
Okay, you have to roll for it.
See if I can make another success. Medicine?
Yes.
Well, got a 7 this time.
Okay.
Jesus save us.
Jesus, take the wheel.
No,
I
Jesus
was
takes the
looking what
hand.
I could do. I guess the only thing I can do right now is cast Cure Wounds. Or try.
Roll for it.
You said medicine, right?
Correct.
What the hell? Sorry, I can't find something.
It's just
Yeah, you're still streaming your
21.
screen.
I'm.
Oh, thank God.
I didn't know I was streaming.
what'd you roll?
21.
Okay. So with a cry of beseeching mercy to the god Lathander, your deity, you hold the severed hand, the blaze stump, one at a time, and whisper and cry out your prayers, and you watch as golden light emanates from your holy symbol and sort of starts stitching the hand to the stump back together. As it does, the cries of the child start to lessen a bit, as if the pain is going away as well. A minute later, the hands start twitching as if the nerves and the tendons and the organs are becoming reacquainted with each other. The hand is reattached, although now a thin scar now circles the child's entire wrist. You have reattached one hand.
Just have to do this, what,
All right.
3 more times?
Ish.
2
7
more?
more
Because-
times? 6 more.
Oh no, that
Or is that for both hands in one shot?
the Drake ate a hand, right?
Yes.
So there's 6 more hands to go?
I'll cut you a break this time and allow two hands per roll.
Okay.
Will that one count or no?
I got an
just-
18 that time.
Okay. The healing takes a little bit longer, and the scarring is not as thin, more thick around the wrist, but the hands still seem to be in good working order. One more time.
That's a 14.
The scarring is extremely thick. It doesn't seem to have taken as well, as two of the fingers seem a bit stiff, for lack of a better term. But the hands are reattached, and having two semi-working hands are better than having no working hands. And now for the person with only one hand, the kid with only one hand.
3.
At the very least, the stump with no hand seems to be scabbing over quite quickly. But aside from that, the other hand does not seem to want to attach.
Cool. Just to confirm, I have cast twice and Jesus has cast twice, just for spell slot purposes.
Do you any wish to try one more time, or do you think you don't know you can?
Would you
I'll
let me
try one more.
Okay, never mind. That's better. Yeah, if you want to try one more time.
Okay, it's better than the one I rolled earlier. A 5.
Okay. The hand reattaches, although aside from these two fingers, these 3 fingers don't seem to be working quite so well. But the hand is, for all intents and purposes, reattached and semi-functional.
Oh, he's got a stub and a pincer. Poor kid.
Time will tell if feeling returns the rest of the hands, fingers, or not. But so after watching this act of bizarre charity from these strangers, the rest of the town starts dispersing. Some of the more kindly townsfolk gathering up the children, just sort of ushering them off. and you watch, and the surly barkeep who you rented those overpriced rooms from just shakes his head, spits aside, walks back into the Saint's Spit. And as he does so, you notice one particular figure dressed in dark robes, just sort of standing, just watching having watched the spectacle along with everyone else. Seems to be a slightly older woman. Hair seems to have once been long and dark and lustrous, but now it's kind of gray and kind of stringy. You do take note, however, of the two large feathered wings that are sticking out from her back. Although the wings don't look like to be in the best of shape, they seem missing some feathers. They look ragged. Don't look like they see much use. You also take note that on her sort of sallow, sagging face are what appear to be strange tattoos. The woman looks at you for a long moment, just sort of shuffles off into the Saint's Spit, and now you are alone on the now bloodstained ground of Last Bastion.
Yeah. That was certainly an event. That's what I say.
Hey,
to
where's the other
group.
shrimp? We seem to be
Yeah.
missing another. Where'd Simbis go?
I
Missing
know
all the
all
fun.
of this is
Probably off
exciting.
drinking.
I know all of this is exciting, but that lady seems important.
Zenbis doesn't, though.
I was gonna say, what about our missing member?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You
He's
saw
probably just off
Sorry, I
drinking.
didn't notice. I thought
one of the few patrons of the Saint's Spit.
he was
Sort
sleeping.
of says, "Didn't know gnomes could snore that loudly."
Oh,
Okay.
thank God, he's still asleep. All right, I was worried. Yeah. All right, let's go. Next, you said that lady. We should go talk to that lady.
Yeah, she seemed important.
Okay, then I agree. I think we should go check all that out.
So
Agreed.
you all head back inside the Saint's Spit, where you see the winged woman sort of take a seat at the bar. The bartender looks at her, and says, "So, priestess, drink or root?" He holds up a flagon, or he holds up a sort of a strange little red root thing. She points to both. He shrugs, pours her a flagon of very watery-looking ale, slides it her way, then puts the root down next to the flagon, holds out his hand. She counts off at least 5 gold. He takes it, bites one of the coins just to be sure, nods, stows it away under the bar, and then starts busying himself with cleaning a few glasses.
What the hell was that root? Can I make a check to see if I know what that root would have been?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. What check would that be?
Nature.
Nature. Yeah, okay. This is likely to fail. Oh, no, not that one. That one's really badly off balance. 13?
Having served on a ship, you do have some brief memories of the ship's doctor explaining to you some of the various kind of painkiller and appetite suppressants. This one seems to be one of the latter variety. It looks to be a kind of root known as ilti, and it's known for both its narcotic qualities, suppressing appetite, but also known for eventually discoloring your teeth over long periods of use.
Okay. So I guess we can. Okay. Filing that away. I mean, if it gets you fucked up, I might want some. But okay, yeah. Just filing that away. Seems like maybe she's in a lot of pain. And yeah, I guess.
Has she noticed us at all?
She seems to be preoccupied with her drink and her ilti.
Okay, then I guess I will sidle up beside her and sit down beside her and ask, are the lords is the lord here normally that generous?
She kind of jumps to the side as if unused to people actually talking to her so casually. She looks at you a bit furtively, and you make note of her sort of bloodshot eyes that are otherwise quite dark, like little chips of onyx. Aside from a small ring of red, she looks at you. She kind of narrows her eyes. They're kind of teary. Looks at you and goes, "He is not usually so kind."
That was him being kind?
Some of them are still alive.
Okay. Hi. Mm.
Who's them?
The rebels he often finds.
These rebels, are they actually rebelling or just, I mean, what do they do that is heinous enough to be, can't think of the word, to be sentenced as such? I mean, death or exile is just, it's no choice at all. They both end in the same thing.
The woman
In all
just sort of,
fairness, we did see somebody shoot the guy in the head, so there's clearly some sort of issue going on with local politicians.
the woman doesn't answer right away. She takes a long pull from her thing, starts chewing the root. The red of her eyes kind of dilates a bit as the root starts taking effect. She then looks at you all and goes, "I think I dreamed of you all."
You dreamed of us.
Yes, I think I did. Tell me, you aren't from this town, are you? I don't recognize you, but I don't recognize a lot of things at times.
No, we're not.
A sort of a steely look comes into her black and red eyes, and as a bit of a strange bit of hope starts flooding into them, and it says, maybe you can help. Maybe yes. Maybe all of a sudden the bartender slams a fist down the bar and goes, "Don't even consider it, you death worshipping bitch. You know what happened the last time." She then looks back and goes, "Not dictate terms to me, you devil worshipping heathen. Maybe they can help. Maybe someone can finally help."
What happened last time?
The bartender turns his polychromatic gaze to you. "None of your business."
Well, it's our business now.
If we're potentially going to help, it's kind of our business what happened last time. Maybe
Yeah, I
it'll
think we're
deter us,
making it our
maybe it'll
business.
encourage us.
The man spits aside, points to the old woman, and goes, "This decrepit old whore. She held on to hope. She thought that maybe the Lord could be reasoned with or overthrown. Safe to be say, it didn't work out. Oh, you sentenced me to the force that day, didn't you, you old bitch? Was it good? That little bit of hope? Was it good watching all those townsfolk who listened to your words go off to die? The Lord saw them all one by one. Oh, and they stabbed him in turn, but he didn't die. No, he didn't. Oh, but he let you live, didn't he, you stupid little bitch? He let you live as a warning."
Hey now, there's no need for that. At least she's trying to do something. All you're here is being an asshole to anyone and everyone. You're supposed to be running some kind of establishment. Catch more flies with honey than vinegar. You ever hear that?
I don't think he knows what honey is.
Don't talk of flies of flies to me. You being blessed with the blood of hell won't get you so far here.
It didn't get me anywhere. Are you talking? What are you talking about? You made me pay full price.
I didn't charge extra for the I didn't charge extra, didn't I?
For all we know, you could have.
It kind of felt like you did already.
Yeah, it's a
But
bit overpriced.
yeah. Anyways, by the way, still, thank you for saving our asses. But cool it with the bitch stuff.
As you
She
call her.
filled those people's heads with hope. We all heard their dying scream for days. Don't think that she's the only one who's suffered here.
Well,
He
at least
spits
she's
this-
trying to do something about it.
At least she's not an asshole about it.
The woman just starts deflating her wings, just sort of folding in around herself like a sort of a safety blanket, as if she starts starts getting look kind of smaller. The bartender just spits to the side and just shuffles off. The woman then sort of looks up because it's not good to talk here. He can't be reasoned with. He's too angry right now. We'll go to the temple. We can talk there if you wish.
Of course. And does she look like frail, like she could use a hand in walking? Because I would like to offer my arm to her to lean on.
She looks like she hasn't had much strength for a while, both physically or mentally, as evidenced by her taking both the drink and the drug.
Well, then I'm gonna just like go around, or I'm gonna stand up and like offer my arm to her. If you want, you can lean on me while you show us the way.
She looks taken aback by the act of simple kindness, but nonetheless accepts, holding out her sort of bony / sort of decrepit hand, which you also take note is also covered in more of the same faded tattoos as her face.
Cool. All right.
And with you sort of holding her, she sort of leads you out of the tavern. You do take note that the bartender Alexander just sort of shakes his head. Bit of a strange, sorrowful look in his polychromatic eyes, but otherwise still the same surly and angry expression on his face. The woman takes you out.
I really just want to like smash something on the bar.
Can I just throw the knoll head that I have on my back in the bar and walk out?
If you want.
I slam down another 40 to the guy, and say, "Our friend is still sleeping, and he sleeps like a log. So here is the money for the room for the rest of the day, and you wouldn't be the kind of person that would give a note to somebody, would you?"
He looks at you for a long moment, which with sort of a really look in his eyes. But he takes
That. Oh no. Okay, never mind. Continue.
But he takes the gold, just takes the note, and goes, "I'll slip it under the door."
Works for me. Thank you so much.
So you then follow the winged woman out, slowly out of the tavern. You follow her through the town, still at the base level of Last Bastion, at the mountain's first layer, so to speak. And after a good bit of walking, because she doesn't really go very quickly, you come to a large building carved from stone, both white and dark, sort of a contrast in colors, so to speak. And in front of the entrance are several columns that on the right side, the columns are black and shaped like a winged woman in armor, just holding a pair of scales, and upon whose arms are perched a raven. And on the left side, carved from pure white, are what appears to be skeletons in white robes with white sides, and they support and the columns keep going back past the entranceway, which are two large oaken doors, and the roof is depicted with a frieze that in turn depicts more ravens and grinning skulls. And each of the door carved into it is a scythe and an hourglass. The woman shuffles to the doors and just sort of taps upon them, and as if by their own accord, the doors swing open. As you get closer to the building, you make note that it is not as pristine as once appears. The garden, what seems to have been a garden in front of the is overgrown or from disuse, and also paint that seems to be spelling out a lot of kind of very unsavory words and descriptions of what the priestess and the temple can do to each other, from in front of each other and with each other, have been spewed all across the front walls, along with the words cannibals. The doors, meanwhile, finish opening, and the woman shelves on the side, and the interior looks slightly better, mostly dusty, although it does look like the place has been ransacked several times and defaced, with more slander and slurs and cannibals painted across the walls, painted across the floor. Several of the pews look like they've been smashed to kindling.
So
And
this is a fun place. Who's your decorator?
there appear to be also what seem to be some bloodstains.
Ooh.
Hmm.
If I'm still holding Magdalena, I ask her, are these fresh? Talking about the bloodstains.
The bloodstains are from when they first attacked the temple after they accused us of causing the ghoul plague. The rest comes and goes as they please. The townspeople were not kind.
The townspeople did this?
After rumors started spreading that we were the cause of the ghouls, a mob came to the towns. They did terrible things to my acolytes, to me. They ransacked, looted, burned. Now they just, for the most part, leave me alone. I'm all that's left.
Why would they think that you had anything to do with these ghouls?
This is a temple of death and undeath. We worship those who fall on both sides of the coin. As you all enter the temple and take all this in, you then see, sitting on one of the few remaining intact pews, a very familiar face who is accompanied by a not so familiar bulk, a large hound-like thing wreathed in shadow and with flaming eyes, and seated with crossed feet upon the pew is a familiar face, Morgwin.
One.
Hey, dude, where the fuck were you?
Well, I honestly don't know.
You don't know. How can you not know? The Phillies and Rael, they said something about you disappeared suddenly. What?
Upon
What happened?
upon Selena's right shoulder, Feliz pops up, takes one look at Morgan, and goes, "Huh, you look different. Whatever, you're still drunk." Then disappears, and then pops up on Nix's shoulder. Goes, "Yeah, I'm just kind of moving between people. I don't want to go back to him. He sucks."
Get off of me, you imp.
I could, but something about your soul kind of screams out to me. Seems interesting. I might say the time being. Hello. Rael goes, "Just stop acting like a buffoon, you horned fiend."
I'm just gonna look at Nix and go, who are you talking to? Simbus isn't even here.
Honestly, I was fine with it. They weren't that bad.
You don't hear those voices?
I hear you.
Yes.
Huh.
Feliz then pops up again on Selena's shoulder and goes, "Oh, you're too kind, you deep sea goddess."
It's much better. See, I knew we could come to an understanding.
Not so much frosty bitch, more deep sea guys. I like it.
You said you said he had a hound or is a hound.
Now, a giant hound-like creature is sort of slumbering by Morgan's feet. Each exhalation of its breath makes the floor sort of around sort of shake a bit. Magdalena looks at the hound in surprise, a bit of fear, and then looks at Morgan and goes, "How did you get in here? Have you come to take what's left? You won't find much."
Well,
It's okay, he's with us.
I was in the woods, and now I'm here.
Came here and I got here and now I'm here. I want to pet the dog. I want to pet him.
All
Can I
right.
pet the dog?
Can I?
Wait, where's the dog? There's a dog?
A giant hound-like creature that seems to be comprised of equal parts flame, flesh, and shadow.
Oh, so it's a hellhound.
Yes, I want to pet the hellhound.
Sounds fun. I definitely want to pet the hellhound.
Do I
In real life,
recognize what?
whenever I see any
Is it-
dog, I gotta pet it. So I gotta pet it.
Who has to recognize it?
Don't.
Oh, can I ask to recognize it too?
Roll a religion check.
Oh, I was expecting it.
A what check? Wisdom?
Religion.
Oh, religion.
Uh,
Okay. I
fuck
forgot
is
to
my
write that.
modifier?
Hmm?
10.
You
I
can
got a
tell
9.
this. Both you can tell this hound is not normal. It's very large, and it sort of opens its eyes and sort of looks at you with a frightening intelligence, and just sort of growls for a bit.
Morgan, where? Not that I'm complaining. The doggo is great. Where did you get him? How? How are you in possession of this?
Well, really long story. It might have ended up with a lot of murder.
Yeah, as it tends to do.
But now I'm a dog.
All right. Well,
Nyx is going to hold her hand out so the dog can sniff her to see if it will allow her to pet it.
So you hold your hand out towards the large hound's, sizable snout. It's still growling at you a bit, with flames rising from its mouth, but it sort of sniffs at you, bit of smoke exhaling from its nostrils. But it does not seem to make any threatening moves, so if you wish, you may pet the thing that seems to be a hellhound.
All right, do I have to roll for anything to try to pet him? Like,
If you want, you can roll a charisma check, or you can just pet the dog as is.
okay, I'll just pet the dog.
So it takes one last sniff of your hand, and it perks its large ears up as if it likes what it smells, and then just sort of nudges its large head under your hand, and just sort of lets you pet the fur. The fur feels very warm, also kind of not oily, so to speak, but liquidy, like solidified shadow. And you are now petting a giant beast that seems to be a shadowy hellhound.
ooh, I want to pet him. I want to pet him.
Okay.
I go pet him.
The beast is very receptive to your pets as well.
As
Awesome.
Celeste goes to pet him, I'd like to flick Feves off of her shoulder.
The finger goes through Philly's, and he just goes, "Oh, I haven't been flicked by a man in so long."
Morgan, does it have a name?
I haven't named it yet. I just got it like 2 seconds ago before I entered here. No, I'll leave that up to you.
The paladin is going to attempt to pet the possible hellhound.
As you draw close, the hellhound suddenly starts. The beast suddenly starts growling.
Oh, come on!
He's a
What's
hit.
wrong with me? I'm not really scared of anything. I don't fucking care. I'm still
Pet the
gonna
doggy
try to pet
anyway.
it.
So, as you all are giving this unholy beast all the love and attention that all good boys deserve, Magdalena
He
just
is a
sort
good
of
boy.
wanders over to one of the other intact pews and just sort of sits down with a sort of a heavy sigh, as if she's very tired.
Yeah, that's right. We were doing something before the doggo came in.
But-
Yeah.
But a hellhound.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the giant hound's hind leg starts kicking up as one of you seems to be scratching just the right spot behind the ears. You hear
Yes.
a thump, 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 thump as the ground starts briefly shaking.
Best boy. He's the best boy.
What the hellhounds eat?
I didn't ask.
Flesh.
Fire? I don't know.
Paladins?
You're the ranger.
Can I do a nature check on that then?
Sure.
Callie pulls out a torch holds it in front of the hellhound and throws it to see if he goes and catches it.
The hellhound, without even having, because of its bulk, just sort of reaches up, grabs it out of midair, and just sort of
On
swallows.
Okay, so
Swallows it
no
all.
fetch.
Well, you just didn't throw it. You just didn't throw it far away enough.
I'm so damn little. I can only throw it.
It's okay, Callie. We'll throw you next time. See how well it plays fetch.
Magdalena,
Try it, I dare ya.
Magdalena sighs and goes,
I will.
suppose I should be surprised by this, but at this point, I'm not.
Yeah. I
But
guess
it's
sit
a
down beside.
puppy.
I guess sit down beside her, and I just kind of gently place a hand like on like the back of her shoulder, like the shoulder blade, and I ask, "You said in the inn, the bar to the barkeep that we could help. Help with what? I mean, obviously you have a ghoul problem. We saw that in the things that screech, in the night. Um, but is there anything else? I mean,
He looks at you for a long moment, and then sort of shakes her head wearily. Once a kindly town, good people. Our lord, he wasn't the best of men, but he was decent in his own way. A good scion of House Kendeon, I suppose. Oh, that changed when the gnolls and the demons invaded. The rest of Walpurgis was under attack. Never really learned what the specifics of it were, only some massive invasion of demons and all the worshippers and all the foul things that come with it. You're all called to arms, but Lord Kendeon, he declined the order to not want to risk us all being slaughtered. But his children, his twins, such good children they were, son and his daughter. The daughter is actually training to be a knight, and they were the bright eyes of this town. They're gone now. No one knows where they've went. All I know is that one day, after days of resisting the call to arms and the demons and gnolls growing ever closer, Lord Kindan finally emerged from his castle, led all the men and the soldiers and the fighting women of this town to a suicidal charge. But somehow we won the day.
Would those two children happen to be the ghosts around town now?
No one who has seen the ghost has lived to tell of it, so I don't know. Then, after the battle was over, the mists came, and no one's been able to leave the forest or this town since. And every day, the Lord, who everyone thought died in the battle, he's been growing colder, crueler every day. Then the gnolls started coming. The ghouls came at night, killing anyone who didn't cross the ghost first. Then one day the rumors started. They looked at all of us at this temple of death and undeaths and thought that we were responsible. Came the mob. And the rest, as you can plainly see. I'm all that's left, the clergy. And my gods will not answer my pleas to even understand why this all happened.
I lean in and kind of give her a little hug and like rub her back, and ask, so his personality shift, that was before any of the gnolls or ghouls became a problem?
Before, after the mists came.
It was after. Okay.
Did the
Her
ghouls
wings.
come out of the forest, or did they originate in the city?
She shrugs, her wings sort of lifting with the motion a bit before folding around her. No, no one knows. They come out from wherever the wretched beasts seem to propagate during the day. They haunt the roads at night. The doors are always locked. The windows are always barred. They don't come in here because this place still holds some holy blessings left.
And what started first, the mist?
After the battle, when the Lord was brought back, everyone thought he was dead. Then brought back to the castle to die. The mist then settled. Then, I don't know how long it's been. All you know, it's been so long. And every day the ghouls seem to be growing larger and larger.
So when he was brought back to the castle, he was on the brink of death?
Less than a fourth of all our soldiers, anyone who could lift up a weapon, returned from that battle.
Okay. And to veer extremely off course here, we mentioned out in the street a name, and no one seemed to have known of this name. A Prince Prospero? Does that name ring any bells to you?
The woman looks at you, confused, and goes, there's a house, Clan Prospero of Walpurgis, but they don't have princes. I don't know what you speak.
Can I describe him to her?
If you wish.
Okay, let me rephrase. I, a player, do not remember what he looks like, but I feel like at this point it's only been like what, a day or two. Selena would help a girl out.
All right.
I would like to describe.
You recall the prince as being tall, well built, with very rich clothes, a very expensive looking sword, a well tooled pistol, and you also do remember his slightly glowing eyes, and the fact that he managed to make someone fall over dead with just a slight gesture. And you also remember quite vividly his insignia of the red dragon upon all his items.
Okay, yeah. So I explain all that to her, and then I ask her, it the Lord here seemed to have do something kind of similar when that person shot him. Some high level magic going on here. Would you happen to know anything about? I mean, does this ring any bell, especially the insignia?
She shakes her head. She shakes his head. It does not sound like any royal insignia that I know of. The only thing that has to do with dragons would be Clan Medardus, but they aren't. Their insignia is not a red dragon; it's a coiled blue one wreathed in thunderbolts. But I don't know of any Prince Prospero. They don't have princes among the clan. They have archcasters and magisterias.
Did we get duped, you guys? So the relations, Last Bastion's relations with other surrounding cities, townships, whatever. Do they pay taxes to somebody, or they're their own independent collective? Are they an autonomous collective? Sorry, Monty Python reference. Yeah. Are they doing collective or? I mean, do they have any relations within any surrounding villages?
Magdalena just sort of shrugs and goes, as you can tell, we were settled by Clan Kendaon, of which the Lord is a member of one of the lesser lines of it, but we have not heard anything from any of the rest of Walpurgis. And she looks puzzled for a minute and he goes, I can't remember how long. Then the moment passes, and she says, what was I saying?
You can't remember how long, and then you pause.
Remember what?
What's the last thing you do remember about all of this? I mean, what? Hold on. Before I ask this question, gotta ask out of character.
Okay.
Would we know what day, year, month, calendar wise? Would we know what day
I would assume you do,
it is?
yes.
Okay. There. Then I ask her, what, this was dumb. Never mind. She's probably just an old woman. Here I am thinking maybe there's some magic amnesia going on. Okay.
Yeah, I got that
I'll-
vibe too.
Okay, so I'll fucking ask anyway.
That's a good
When
point.
is the last like what year is it?
She looks a bit puzzled and goes, well, the battle took place, I think it was the waning days of year 1221, I think.
Okay. And how long ago is this battle? So like what year is it currently?
She thinks for a minute and then she looks puzzled again and goes, the moment passes again and she goes, I'm sorry, I can't quite recall.
Huh.
And meanwhile, you all know the last date that you all had was about 3264.
Oh. So holy shit. So in order it was 1226, even if that battle was only like, yeah, that's a lot of missing time. Okay. Shit.
Only like 2,400 years.
Only. Yeah, only. Okay. Um, okay then. Well, in that case, I don't know. I look to the rest of the group because I'm at a loss. I don't even know what to ask now. That's thrown me.
All of a sudden, the woman's bony hand sort of gently grabs your hand and goes, you can help me, won't you? You'll help me?
I use my other hand to put it on top of her and just kind of like gently, yes, will do our best. That is all I can promise. Is that we'll do our best.
You can help me. I haven't prayed to the gods in a long time, but they said I had a dream that you all would help me. You'll help me. You'll help stop these horrid rumors. You'll help find who's causing this plague of ghouls. You'll help. You'll help. You'll help. You'll help me, won't you? You please say you'll help me. And then as she
Yes.
speaks, tears start going down her cheeks. And
Oh.
Do you have anything that can help us help you?
don't. What do you mean?
Do you have any advice or any just assistance that you can give us?
Accessories.
She looks up at that and just sort of
Definitely not what I'm hinting at.
slowly gets to her feet and goes, I might have some items that could be of use to you. The gods know they have not been of much use to me anymore. Saints only figure why. She shovels to the back of the to one of the back rooms of the temple. These rooms look like they once were the living quarters of many of the acolytes, and like the rest of the temple, they have been, for lack of a better term, defiled. The mob was not kind. She goes into her room, which has been equally defiled, although you do make note of a large safe that appears to have been, while scratched at, appears to have not been breached. And she actually looks a bit proud of it. Goes, no matter what they did to me, I will not open the safe for them. They will not. They have not gotten their hands on what was within.
Okay.
She walks over, and just sort of you don't see any opening in you look like a safe, but it looks more like a block of solid metal. She places a hand on it. Runes light up around all over the thing, and the door of it swings open. And inside, you see what appears to be a suit of armor, a shield emblazoned with the hourglass and the scythe, and also another symbol, a woman's face with long flowing dark hair and two wings coming out from the back of the head. The same symbol is emblazoned on the armor, and also you see attached in a sort of a bandolier on the armor across are what appear to be several scrolls, and also wrapped around the armor's waist is what appears to be chain forged with spikes, and also shoved through that is what appears to be a flail with 3 heads.
So the chain of
Okay.
spikes
It's on
is
shield.
running her?
Hmm?
Or is it like one of those like ball and chains thing, like the ring wraith had and was fighting why am I forgetting her name? No,
Eowyn.
Eowyn. I can't
Yes.
believe I forgot her name. I love her.
The flail looks like a flail, but oddly enough with 3 heads instead of the usual one.
No, the ball and chain thing that you said.
No, that was the thing, and it was.
Oh. Okay, I'm sorry.
And
I thought it was two separate things.
And meanwhile, the if you wish to examine everything, you can start taking stuff out. And also in the bandolier are several scrolls, and in the and on a little table inside the safe are what appears to be a small little open chest of potions.
Ooh, potions.
I guess.
Divvy out
Divvy it
those
up.
amongst those of you who can't take a hit.
Yeah.
The squishy ones of the group.
I'm
Weakly.
definitely squishy. All right.
I think I could probably take a few hits. I should be good. Selena's proved I can take a few hits.
Look, said you can. You said you could handle it.
I did. Am I dead?
So, what did I miss? How long have I been gone?
Selena just tried to blow us all up. It's okay.
Hey,
Yeah, so there was a
We found out she
yeah,
can summon water.
yeah. You missed. I finally got to use my new I don't know, spell thing. Yeah, it was a rush of water. It was awesome. I've been waiting to use something like that forever.
Loosh.
Yeah. Yes. Did not work as well as I had wanted it to, though.
Interesting. How long ago was I gone?
I believe only one night.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I moved differently there. I was gone for like a week.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I see. Phyllis said something about a red flashing light. Was Red Phil there, or were you
No,
just all?
I didn't see. I just appeared in this place. There was a lot of
Goodness.
murder, and
A lot of murder that you did, or?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Details.
well, they kind of yeah. I no comment.
No fun.
Boo, boo, bitch.
Boo!
Get it out
Phyllis,
of him.
Phyllis, tell him boo.
The horn.
Okay.
The horn devil pops up, says "boo" with two middle fingers, and then disappears again.
Peeves, what
Awesome.
do you have to say about that?
Peeves pops up, just sort of laughs maniacally, goes "boo to you, boo to boo to you, boo to he, boo to she, boo." Goes away.
Damn right, boo. Boo, bitch.
Hey, Selena, give him your flask.
You?
Let him
Yes. Okay. Oh, him?
No, not
Wait.
me. Give him the flask. Get him drunk. He starts talking.
Isn't he already drunk though?
I like the way you think.
I've been gone for a week. I don't think I've had any. No,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I was gone.
Okay. I give him the. Like dangle the flask in front of him. Will this help you talk?
Well, the bowed.
If not willingly, it will come out at some point.
Here,
We'll
you know
talk to
you
him while
want
he's
to.
sleeping.
Maybe a little wouldn't hurt. Yeah.
Okay, here, drink. Drink and make merry.
Need to go get an actual drink. Morgan, the flask and just take a slight sip.
Okay,
Light.
you take a sip.
Yeah, which not normal for me.
Ellie unsheaths one of her hand axes and says, I can make him talk.
No.
Fine. Puts the axe away.
I was thinking I do have detect thoughts.
Now, if we're gonna take this out of him, I got it. We don't need axes to
Do y'all forget I
get
have
that kind of information out of people. Meaning, like I'm a dark elf. I know how to
So
trick people.
Magdalena just sort of watch you all just sort of have this weird conversation with each other, and then she sort of gestures to everything inside the ball and goes, I hope this will all be sufficient payment if you require such things.
I think it will definitely help.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You're helping us help you.
Just put them to good use. They were mine once, and perhaps they'll see better use in your hands than they have in mine in the past.
I can guarantee you they will see use. Whether it's better remains to be seen.
Did we just ignore her and just start talking about Morgwin instead of
Yes,
Fenrir?
yes, we did.
Well, like the third time we've done that, it's
Maybe a
fine.
little bit.
She's
We're so
painfully
rude.
used to being ignored, and at this point, being ignored is better than being seen.
Oh, that was out of character. Sorry.
I just how long it was. I was gone.
You were gone at least a day or two. Magdalena just looks and goes, "This armor served me well during my younger days as a frontline cleric. It will serve you all better now, I suppose, as will my weapons."
I'll take that three-headed flail. Sure, I can put that to good use.
Um,
Unless anybody else can use it.
Feel free. I just
definitely
called dibs
cannot.
on shield.
I like my hat.
Were there any scrolls?
There were there were about 5 scrolls in the bandolier across the that's resting across the armor.
I want to look at. I'll take the scrolls and look at them.
Okay, what you can tell, they are speak with undead, sanctuary, banishment, mass healing word, and remove curse.
Nice. I need to write that down real quick. I will forget. Hold up. Okay.
Oh,
The potions that we found, were those on the shield or just there?
The ones that you could see, they were in a small open box on the table inside the vault. You can look inside the shield to see if there's anything there.
Yes, please.
You see in the interior of the shield are various other sheaths. You see one more potion, and you also see what appears to be a medic's kit.
well, I think the armor and the medics kit should definitely go to the paladin.
What kind of potion was it?
Medics kit, maybe we should
You'll have
split.
to cast Identify to figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to sit down and start ritual casting.
And I'm sorry. You said the scrolls were speak with undead, mass
Yes.
healing word, remove curse, and what were the other?
Banishment and sanctuary.
Ooh, okay. I gotta. That will.
Isn't sanctuary where you like can only tell the truth, or is that something else?
That's Zone of
No.
Truth.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
debated casting Sanctuary on the little kids before they got their hands cut off.
I was half tempted to as well.
Uh,
Well, I'm not familiar with sanctuary, but couldn't she like go in the circle and still do it, or are you just? I'm not familiar. I'm sorry.
You ward a creature within range against attack until the spell ends. Any creature who targets the warded creature must make with an attack or harmful spell must first make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I think
protect
if
the
you
warded
would've done
creature.
that, sorry.
No,
You're done.
that's basically it.
Yeah, the thing is, if you would have done that, it probably would have made them pissed off, and they probably would have lost more than their hands.
Yeah, that's partially what I did.
you all go to take what you require. So who takes all the potions?
I am currently identifying at least the one that was in the shield.
Okay, it's just a simple potion of cure of cure wounds.
Toss it to Selena.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right, and
Thanks.
so Jesus, you're currently taking the armor.
I suppose so.
So as you do so, the spike chain unravels, and it looks like something that you could actually use as a weapon if you so wished. It's like a long length of chain with spikes and spike balls on either side of it, with two with length in the middle that is not spiked, so to speak. It looks like it could be used as a weapon if you know how to use it.
Ooh. Okay.
I forgot to mention there actually is one more scroll inside the shield.
Yeah.
Can I
What?
can I read what kind of scroll it is?
Yeah.
Create food and drink.
I'll hang on to that.
What did he say?
Create food and drink.
Oh, okay.
So, Magdalena watches you as you all disassemble and reassemble the armaments of her younger days, and she looks a bit nostalgic, a bit saddened, but she also seems a bit somberly pleased that her items will see better use under more expert hands than hers ever had in the past, ever since she lost her faith. And she goes, I am glad these will see better use. Thank you. It means much to me that they will be used again. But so I do have an idea of how you could help me. You could start by helping kill these horrid rumors about me. I am not responsible for the ghouls. Undeath is a process that should be chosen of one's own volition, not forced upon an unwilling soul or body. Do you understand? It is a holy thing. You could say goodbye to your friends, your family, watch new generations grow. Who would ever want to force someone into undeath as a ghoul? It is abhorrent.
Yeah, the things that we faced out there definitely is not a goal to strive towards. That didn't look like they had much of anything on their mind other than their stomach.
I am slightly convinced that whoever is responsible for this abhorrent plague is in this town. So I ask of you one thing, that when you find out who it is, you will tell me. You will allow me to join you in bringing them to justice. Do you understand me? I need you to promise me that, on whatever you hold dear. Just promise me. It's me.
Yes, I promise you. But until then, just stay safe. And do you mind if we come to the temple when we need to rest?
You'll be welcome. It would be nice to have fresh faces in here again. I know that Alexander's prices are a bit steep.
A little bit, yeah.
A bit steep.
And honestly,
Understatement of the century.
yeah. But honestly, I would be okay with the prices if he had a personality to match. But
He had always. She rubs at her face tiredly and goes, Alexander has always been a bit of a dour soul, even in the better days. But
that's a nice way of putting it.
Just say it. You mean dick.
she looks a bit affronted at
Jesus.
the rude language echoing from your mouth, and goes, even for a worshipper of the hells, he had something of a good heart, I suppose. But like all of us in this town, he's suffered as much as anyone.
Fair point. I'm sorry.
Well, we're on your side, so if you need us to take care of him, just let us know.
She nods and thanks you, and then she kind of yawns, and you see that what few teeth she have are kind of yellowed. It's just she hasn't been taking much good care of herself. And the few teeth she does have are also yellowed and discolored, as Selena knows, no doubt, from chewing Ilti for who knows how long.
Hmm.
And she goes, "Thank you," and I don't wish I had more help to give you, but excuse me, I'm feeling very tired. She then Magdalena then perks up for a minute and goes, I forgot to tell you, I don't know why I neglected to tell you this, but um ever since the mists have come and the Lord, he rarely ever ventures out from his from the castle. When he does, directly execute rebels, make sure we're all in line, or go on hunting trips into the forest with some of his cronies. He leaves his right hand woman Dayu to man the town while he's gone. He's often gone for at least a day or so, then returns, and then doesn't emerge from his castle again for who knows how long.
So he's able to traverse the area. Well, that is extremely good information. Thank you, Magdalena.
Her wings sort of straighten up a bit, as if happy to have been helped to something after who knows how long of how much abuse and torment she's endured from the rest of the town for, again, who knows how long.
Oh, I also ask her, is there anything we can do here? If we have a few moments in between trying to figure out what we're doing, do you need help? I just kind of gesture to the general state of the whole place.
You can clean if you wish, though when the mood strikes them, the town often needs something to vent their frustrations upon, and I happen to be the closest target. You don't target the other temple, the temple St. Candeon, because, well, even the Lord, with all his lack of piety, still paid lip service to that one, being descended, his clan's descended from that saint and all, but If you wish to clean up, you can. I've tried doing the past, but after several more attacks, it just doesn't really seem worthwhile, does it?
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know if any of my companions have any more questions.
Magdalena looks around a bit, goes, remember the days when this temple was grand and we were respected? We were brought the dead to embalm with all the grace and honor they deserved. Now they send their embalming to that brute of a butcher.
The embalming goes to a butcher?
She shrugs her winged shoulders and then just sort of yawns and goes, I'm sorry, I think I need to sleep now. The ilty is wearing off.
Raise my shield up. Do we need to visit this butcher? My new shield.
She just doesn't really answer, just sort of shrugs and just sort of starts shuffling off to to the bed and to the bed in the room, which is more or less intact, though parts of it have been stained a bit.
Hey, Mr. Tinker Fix-It Boy. Go mend the bed.
Alright.
I can only
I
cast
can't get
breaking.
stains
You
out
can
of a
cast
mattress,
mending.
though.
Yeah, at least this Tinker boy is here.
Sleeping on the job
can
like
cast mending.
some.
Get out.
Weird.
Peeves
That tool
pops
to
up.
start trying to mend the wood frame, I guess.
Peeves pops up out of nowhere and just starts rhyming. Tinker, tinker, here and there. Tinker, tinker, beware, beware. Tinker, tinker, break and fix. Tinker, tinker. No more sticks. And disappears.
Do any of y'all understand what he's trying to say? Like 90% of the time, like 80% of the time, I'm okay. The other 20%, I'm just like, what the fuck is he
You
talking
just
about?
gotta go with it. Just go with it.
Is Dom here, or is it just Callie that can't hear it?
I thought we could all hear Peeves, just not Thales.
Oh, he's the ghost too.
Yes. Peeves then pops up once again and then starts rhyming again. Hands were raised and hands did fall. Hands did make bloody prints upon the wall. Screams were made, screams let loose. Screams all around from the noose. Smiles, bows, and disappears once again.
I don't know why, but that made me think of something. But can I just investigate the writing on the wall, literally?
If you wish.
Okay. I mean, it's probably not important at this point. I don't know. That just made me think of that.
The writing is on the wall. Literally.
Yeah. I
I
cannot read that.
have Selena's flask.
Wait, so what am I rolling
I
again?
will want it back, by
You're
the way.
just rolling a simple investigation check.
Can I help with that?
If you wish.
Investigation. Okay.
Investigation's my jam.
I got a 13.
You look upon all the graffiti that's been found on the wall, and most of it is a bit too vile to even really comprehend that someone actually wrote this of their own volition.
I got 16, so not much better.
Yeah, it mostly details things that the gods of death and undeath and the saints can do to each other, to Magdalena, to other people in town, to the dead, to the ghouls, and also variations of the saying cannibals, flesh eaters, corpse screwers, that kind of thing.
Yikes.
Sounds fun. Fun time was had writing this.
So, meanwhile, Magdalena has laid down upon her now repaired bed with a murmured thank you to Dom. And she is now fast asleep, her wings sort of curled up around her body as she lays on her back, like a little blanket of dark, ragged feathers. And soon the room is filled with the sounds of her light breathing as she just drifts off to sleep.
Do any of the feathers
Let's
seem
get out of here.
Do any of the feathers seem really loose? Because I kind of want to take one.
From her?
I mean, if there's like any laying around or one that's like barely hanging on.
I was gonna think you're gonna go up to this poor old woman and pluck
It's
a
like
feather
pulling out of
from
her
her?
hair.
That's why I said if there's any laying around. Or one like just hanging barely
You
on.
do note that one sort of falls off her wings or drifts to the ground a bit by the bed.
I take it before he can.
No. I will wrench it out of your grasp.
Roll initiative.
Good luck with that.
And all of a sudden, this
see
campaign
who makes
becomes
it there first.
PvP.
Do you want an extra skull? I grabbed a bunch back in the forest.
No. I want the feather.
All of a sudden, Rael pops up
I'll let you wear my hat.
Selena's left shoulder and goes, I don't mean to interrupt this interesting little conversation, but she does seem to be resting now. I don't think you should disturb her. And you did promise to help her, right?
Yes. We'll get going once Nick gives Jesus the feather.
Phillyson pops up. No, keep for him. Have a bit of inter-party conflict. It makes things so delicious. That's how most people end up back in my place.
But over a feather?
Oh, wars have been started over less, darling. You know this. I know this. They know this.
No, back up. Let's back up. I want to know exactly what war has been started by what less than a feather. I need details. I did not learn this in school. What war started with something less than a feather?
It probably has something to do with salt.
Felly shrugs his shoulders and goes, "Oh, well, the usual slap face, rape sister, that sort of thing, you know."
Neither of those
Definitely
is less
worse
than a
than a feather.
feather. Yes, definitely worse
Well,
than a
Well,
That
then
was
there were also the
out
odd.
of character.
Then there, of course, there were the odd land disputes. You know, whose fence moved here and there. This got spiral out of control. But you know what? I don't really care. It brings more people down to where I live, and we're all happy. The end.
While this conversation's happening, and can I sneakily put the feather in Jesus's pocket and then pretend like I still have it?
Roll a stealth check and then deception check to pretend you still have the feather.
Okay.
While she's doing that, I pat, well, like right above Phyllis' head. Okay, you do you.
Yes, and maybe one day I'll do you.
Whoa.
We'll see.
I'm gonna take
You would have to be corporeal first, my guy.
My stealth I got a
Promises,
19.
promises.
My stealth I got a 19, and then what else do I have to roll for?
Deception to pretend you steal the feather. So Jesus does not notice that you sneakily slip the feather into one of his belt pouches. And now, if you wish to roll deception to pretend you steal the feather, you may do so.
Okay, and deception I got an 11.
You try to do the old sort of like hand in pocket thing to pretend you have something there. It doesn't really seem to be working all that well, but no one really seems to really care enough to say anything.
All right, as long as Jesus doesn't notice.
Can I make a check to see if I saw, or at least her being weird about things?
You may roll a perception check.
Okay. Then hold on. I think it's only +1. Oh shit! Wrong character sheet. I got a nat 20.
You see everything. You definitely noticed her doing this bit of chicanery with a feather, and now for some reason she's trying to pretend she still has it in her pocket.
Then I just look at her and nod and I wink and just move on. Not gonna call attention to it, but
Okay.
I give her finger guns. I don't know.
So while this odd feather brouhaha is going on, Magdalena is still just soundly sleeping away. You know, the drug is worn off, the drink is in her system. You know, she's dead to the world.
all right.
Should I
Well.
check her pulse to make sure she's not actually dead?
If you want to.
I
Nah,
mean, she
I'm
was
good.
snoring, so I'm guessing not.
I'm good.
Speaking
Ew.
of people snoring, should we go and collect our gnome?
Yeah, I think we need to regroup and come up with a plan of attack. Because I think we stepped into something much larger than we had anticipated.
You think?
Yeah.
In the meantime, can I just like rip something off of the head I have on my back and toss it to the hellhound?
If you wish.
Hopefully get in its good graces. I don't know.
Yes, the Hellhound has just been sort of watching the strange, stupid adventurers just banter over feathers and potions and whatnot, and it sounds like it's kind of snickering, kind of like Muttley from Hanna from the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like a very twisted hyenas would laugh.
Yeah, I'll just toss a bone to it.
It snaps out of the air and it's just sort of, you're like crunch, 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 and it swallows the entire thing whole.
Goodness gracious.
I did that nature check earlier to see what the hellhound eats.
Right.
Yeah.
But you do know that from the old apocryphal stories and various religious texts, that hellhounds probably eat flesh, fire, and souls.
And paladins?
Those are usually a good combination of all three, so yes.
We can feed Jesus to the hellhound if it ever gets hungry.
No.
So, you all are still debating inside the temple?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're walking out at this point.
Okay. You've been in the temple a good few hours because Magdalena's tale did take a good few hours to unfold in its entirety. So the sun is now reaching near afternoon's peak. What dull light can be emanating from it, and the town Last Bastion is, more people are venturing out of their homes with locked doors and the barred windows, and just sort of going about some semblance of a day.